ॐ सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलय करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादम् शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयम् नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। हरि ओम. We are trying to study Brahma Sutra Shankara Bhashya on Brahma Sutra, the first adhyaya, the first adhikarana called Samanvayadhikarana, comprising of the 4 sutras, of which Tat to Samanvayat is the sutra under discussion. The whole purport of 4th sutra, or for that matter, the Samanvaya Adhikarana or the first Adhikarana, is to make the sadhaka aware that understand that by whatever you know, by whatever methodology you know, you cannot ascertain reality. The whole adhikarana is pointing towards the futility, the failure of all the attempts that one wants to do. Moment you do an attempt, prayatna, you will not get the reality. You will never understand the theory of relativity if you are reading history book. Because what is there in that book of history has nothing to do with the theory of relativity which is in physics. As a diametrically opposite as that is the knowledge of ultimate reality. But the question comes, if theory of relativity is in the book of physics, then why are you asking me to study the book of history? If the Veda other than the Vedanta is not at all going to give me the knowledge of Brahma, then why am I studying it? The entire Karma Yoga of Bhagavad Gita is apparently useless in your view. Karmanyevadikaraste, whichever way you do the karma, you will not get the jnanam of Brahma. If that is the case, then why should I study about different ways of doing the karma? Nishkama karma, sakama karma, nishiddha, vidhiyukta karma, kamya karma, prayaschit karma. Why at all study all this? Because all this is useless to give me the knowledge of Brahma. And another thing is, it's very illogical that you are talking. You say, do anything, you will not get Brahmajnana. And you have no choice but to keep doing. What a contrast. Are you an embodied born person? Are you a jiva? Yes, then you will have to do karma. Agreed, sir. Fine, that is the statement. I agree to that. But in the same breath, you tell me that any karma that you do will not give you the knowledge of Brahma. It is like saying a warrior is given sword, a shield, a spear, a machete, and then you tell him, with all these instruments, you cannot kill the enemy. On one hand, you are training the person with all the armaments. On the other hand, you say, with all these armaments, you cannot defeat the enemy. Then what is the purpose of studying the armament? This purpose of Veda, first thing is, Veda is the ultimate science, ultimate scripture. First, we have to understand that. I am born. What should I do in my life? Vedo nitya adhiyatam. Acharya said, if you are born, you should be reading Veda every day. Meaning what? The purpose of life can be achieved by studying the Veda Shastra. Other than that, whatever you do is for your survival. You may complicate the survival by modern knowledge and the cars and the telecommunication and whatever. None of that will give you any kind of help in understanding the ultimate reality. No, but now there is a quantum physics going on. There is a new discovery has come. New economist has got the Nobel Prize. All this. Look, now we can fly from one place to another place. Now there is a space shuttle. There is a private space shuttle taking you to the space, and then you will be having a locality on the Mars, and the Mars will be made conducible to stay, etc., etc., etc. Nothing of this. Nothing of this will make your life complete, because even after you realizing that you can be split into 10 different pieces and transported through teletransportation, you will continue to have sorrow and happiness alternating with each other. At a point when you are supposed to go to the destination, you have taken a wrong turn. Now that you have taken a wrong turn, howsoever you may advance on that road, it will never lead you to the Gantavya or the destination sthan. So at the point of start, Acharya says, Veda is the way to go. So the first thing we understand is, purpose of life can be attained only by knowing the reality. To know the reality, the only scripture available is Veda, or those scriptures who have Veda-like truths. We need not be so stuck to Veda. Veda is embodiment of truth. If such embodiment of truth is found in something else, that also is Veda. Veda means something worth knowing, so that nothing left to be known and you go beyond knowledge. That is Veda. Shiksha is different. Shiksha, that is disciplining yourself. Knowledge, Veda. Once this is certain, then comes the question. It's a huge scripture having lots and lots of ruchas into it. Some of them make no sense, some of them make sense, some of them talk about this, some of them talk about that. Once you have a book which is the key to the treasury, in some stories we know that there is a map one gets by following which you can get the treasury of umpteen number of diamonds and this and that. Now then comes the question, how to read the map? What is it saying? Similarly, what is Veda saying? And the one who realized that Veda is saying, oh, it is saying this, he propounded his own darshana. Another person say, no, that is not what the Veda is saying. This is what the Veda is saying. Another darshana. So the first one, what he said, second one refuted that and added a new thing, new facet. It is like those 7 blind men and the elephant. The first blind man said the elephant is like a tree because he was holding on to the leg of the elephant. Another one said, no, it is like a very flat thing which we use for winnowing in our house because he was holding on to the ear. But the leg and the ear, 2 components are known. Then come the third one, the third component is known. So it is like a diamond. Each one is describing one facet. All the facet together gives the knowledge of the full diamond. So the logical progression of understanding of the purport of Vedas started with one darshana, improved into the other darshana, went to the third darshana, and all the darshanas are important. None of them singly represent Veda. All of them together with the culmination of Vedanta represent the real purport of Veda. That is why the last facet of the diamond was seen by Purva Mimamsak, who said that I know what the Shruti means, and what Shruti is telling is to do the Karma Kand, Yajna Yaga. So do the normal Yajna Yaga where physicality is involved by means of Advaryu, Rutvik, etc., by propitiating the gods, etc., so that your behavior becomes punyavan. You start purifying yourself first by physical acts. And as a logical corollary of the physical acts, you will be propelled into the mental purification. It is a sequential progress. You want to be a good man. What do? You stop lying. You stop stealing. You stop harming. These are all physicalities of the action that you do. That brings in the concept of allowed actions and prohibited action. Permitted actions versus prohibited action. Vidhi Nishedha. That's how Purva Mimamsa started with interpretation of Vedas, which are replete with such instructions, and came to the conclusion that Vedas meant only the purification of the mind and the heart by following the physical which shall then purify you, and this purification would give you the power and logically compel you. Your mind will start thinking that now I should sit for meditation. Antaspurana, internal stimulus, inspiration comes when one is accomplished, the second one automatically comes there at the door. We have seen in our common vyavahara also, the person who never exercises at all, when he starts exercising, then he starts feeling like exercising more, becoming more healthy, because he sets his target ahead and ahead. The person who runs 2 kilometers, then he says, let me start 4 kilometers. Then he says 8 kilometers. Then he says 10. Then he goes to 10. Then he goes to half a marathon. Then he goes to the full marathon. Then he goes to the ultra marathon. What he does, he keeps the bar up and up. What made him put the bar up? Because he achieved the previous stage. Even in the matter of material consumption, till the time I don't have a four-wheeler is my target. The moment I achieve it, based on that target, I'm inspired to go further ahead. Because that is how the antakaran vritti works. Similarly, through the act of purification of body and purification of mind, kaya shuddhi and mana shuddhi, together constituting the chitta shuddhi, a person of such kind automatically feels like not interested in the world, but interested in solitude. And when he is in solitude, he sits for meditation, which is called upasana. In the upasana or the dhyana, he regales himself. He starts enjoying the meditation. Today, we are told to do meditation. It is quite an effort and painful. It is painful because it is not giving any kind of pleasure. Eating, watching TV, sensuous pleasures give us pleasure. No denial about it. That is why I feel like doing it. If watching the TV is giving extreme pain in the body, who would watch TV? And when these sensuous pleasures start fading out, when will they fade? Only when something else of more interest or enjoyment or pleasure comes into the picture. Those who have done chitta shuddhi, they start getting pleasure in meditation, happiness in meditation. Gurudev, Swami Vivekananda, whenever they got time, they went into meditation. Why? Meditation is giving immense bliss to them. And since they tasted the bliss, they detested the material sensuous pleasure. So it's a logical progression. By doing such upasana, you move upward and you realize that the world is opening up to you. You come to know what the senses were not knowing earlier. So far in the normal world, the 5 senses are the one who give us knowledge. The analysis and the cognition part of it is done by the mind. But when all the sensuous doors are closed, when the indriyas are not working, then one indriya continues to work, that is mind. When all 5 indriyas are not working, only the mind is working, then the mind being the most potent, most powerful of the indriyas, by its very nature, which constitutes buddhi, intellect, the mind is now able to analyze and understand what the senses couldn't. The eyes could see whatever was in the sight of vision. Mind has no boundary like that. So the mind starts getting the vision of that area, that sight, which is beyond the normal sight. Sitting here, my sight cannot reach India. But my mind can reach India in the form of sight and see what is happening there, which so far was the dormant power of mind, which I never utilized. Now, because I have shut off all my indriyas, I start utilizing my knowledge to know them. So all the 5 indriyas, whatever maximum they are capable of, the eye does the function of seeing, the nose does the function of smelling. So Shabda, Rasa, Rupa, Gandha, Sparsha, all these 5 sensuous understandings are done by the mind itself without the restriction that normally the indriyas have, simply because I develop my mind, which happens as a side effect in meditation. So when I am doing meditation, because my mind goes step by step, breaking the barriers of understanding of the world, I become Deva, enlightened Deva, omniscient, omnipotent. And that is a Swarga Prapti. Why? You bask in the indefinite bliss for a very reason. The restricting adjuncts of this material world are no more applicable to you. I suffer here because I have a disease. There you don't have a disease. I suffer here because I die. There you don't die. I suffer here because of the old age. There is no old age there. That is a Swarga. Because of the punya karma done while doing the chitta shuddhi, if the aim is to develop the mind, then the mind gets into the experiential plane. Experiential plane is called loka. So from the Prithvi loka, the experiential level of the earth, which we all are aware of, such a person who does the meditation starts going into the other worlds. Other worlds are not the 3-dimensional worlds, but the world of experience. As they move up, they come across some new experiences. They come across an experience that there are some souls that are moving around, which are having divya sharira. The higher the experiential level, the loka, more is the bliss. Longer the life, higher the satisfaction or the happiness, lesser and lesser and lesser and negligible will be the dukkham. And that is what you require. You don't require anything else according to Purva Mimamsa. Purva Mimamsa gives a full stop and calls this as a moksha. Moksha means moktum ichha, to be free from the sorrow of the existing world or the loka, bhuloka, martya loka. So all the Vedas, according to them, are talking about only the ruchas which tell you how to reach this state of experiential bliss called Swargam, for which you may do some yajnas in the physical form, then you do manasika upasana, and then you reach there. That is all. There is nothing else in the Vedas. Full stop. Acharya says, exceedingly well described by you. I appreciate what you have done, but I am sorry, what you have spoken is about the comma, not about the full stop. I agree with you that Chitta Shuddhi needs to be done. Then you do Upasana, and then you achieve this higher blissful state, miraculous power, fabulous understanding of the universe. Agree with that. But that is not moksha. The question put forward by Purva Mimamsa is, then what is moksha if this is not moksha? The moksha, according to Shankaracharya, is to be one with the reality is the moksha. The question then is, how do you become one with the reality? The Purva Mimamsa thinks that I was a mortal man. Through Upasana and Chitta Shuddhi, I became Deva. So man became Deva. So similarly, Dev becomes Brahma. Must be something like this only. Logical progression of becoming. And the Brahma Sutra and Acharya says, no, it is not becoming at all. Then how do you become Brahma? Acharya says, you are Brahma. You don't become Brahma. Purva Mimamsa says, if I am Brahma, why am I not realizing that I am Brahma? To become Deva, I did so much in so many births of Punya Karma, Chitta Shuddhi, Upasana, Dhyana, Dharana, Samadhi, and became the godlike Deva Tulya. All this I did, and you are telling me that right in the beginning itself I was Brahma. See the dichotomy of thinking. It is diametrically opposite, the Purva Mimamsa and Uttar Mimamsa or Advaita. Acharya says all that you did or you keep doing, even if you go higher and higher and higher in Upasana, whatever level you may go, you will not get Brahman Dhyan. And what is the reason why you will not get Brahman Dhyan? You already are Brahma. It's a very, very ironical situation. I am Brahma, yet I don't know I am Brahma. I do lots and lots of things, I will not get Brahma. I will get Brahma or I will understand I am Brahma only by not doing anything. That means Purva Mimamsa, which is meant for Chitta Shuddhi, is the act of doing. Vedanta or Advaita is act of non-doing. Stop what you are doing, you are Brahma. But Bhagavad Gita is replete with Karma Yoga. There has to be some harmony between these two streams of thought. Both appear to be right. That harmony, sir, is Samanvayat, the fourth. Acharya says that is what the fourth sutra is. Tat tu Samanvayat. With karma, you will never get Brahma. But you have to do the Karma Yoga. Without karma, you cannot live. As long as you do karma, you will not get Brahma Jnana. Reconciliation of apparently opposite stream of thought processes is Samanvaya. In other words, do what you need to do, then learn the art of undoing what is to be done, and become without doing. You want to see the sun, but everywhere there is darkness because the clouds are there on the sun. So it is dark. Now what should you do? You do all the efforts to remove the clouds. Oh, that means after you do the act of removing the clouds, the sun will be seen. No, sir. Act of removing clouds does not give rise to sun. Sun is always there. It was covered by the cloud. Your entire action just removed the cloud. So karma helps in bandha nivrutti. Just remove the algae on the water, the clean water will be seen. Water is already there. And there are two aspects in it. One, the algae on the water, the scum on the water, gives rise to two problems. One is, it does not show us the pure water. The clouds do not show the sun. That is one problem with the cloud. And second problem is, the small rays that are filtering through cloud, we call that only as sun. That's another problem. You tackle two types of problem with the covering clouds. One is, sun is not seen. Second is, whatever is filtered as rays through the cloud is considered as sun. And not only considered, you are firmly believe that that is what the sun is. In my body, the sun called consciousness or Brahma in the form of Atma, Atman, is there. But I am not able to see it because of my avidya, the cloud. But it helps me in doing everyday routine things through my karmendriyas and jnanendriyas. So it gives me second erroneous impression that I am Atman. This body is Atma. I fail to understand the body is an instrument. In satsanga, while reading the scriptures or in satsanga, it is easy to say that Sharir is not the ultimate aim. It is the conscious. What is happening? We all behave presuming this body as the ultimate. You become a lover, a husband, a child, a grandchild, a friend, a company employee, all this based on only one presumption that this body is me. That is why Acharya started with Adhyasa Bhashya. First understand that your feeling that you are the body is an erroneous feeling based on the fact that the sun inside is the real illuminator. This rays that you are seeing, which are expressed through this tunic or vesture, matter vesture called body, is nothing else but the instrument. He does everything, you feel you are doing everything. Itaretar adhyasa. So Acharya says, Purva Mimamsa Sabhasad Sadasya, what you say is right, but you have failed to understand the statements interspersed into the last part of the Veda called Upanishada, which do not speak about karma at all. Atma, areva, mantavyo, shrotavyo, nididasatavyo. This is a Upanishadic statement where it is saying that what you should do. You should think, contemplate about Atma. Purva Mimamsak runs and says, oh, that is Upasana. But it is not talking about Deva, it is talking about Atma. Viditat adho aviditat adhi. That which cannot be said, which cannot be talked about, is Atman. If nothing can be talked about it, how can you do karma about it? Since Purva Mimamsaka cannot say what these statements are, they say they are useless. Amnayasya kriya arthatvat. If there is no action told in any of the utterances in Veda, then it is useless. I am Atma Brahma, useless. Why? It is not talking of any action. I am Brahma. There is no action in this statement, so it is useless. Advaita Vedanti says, sir, this is the most fruitful statement. You are calling it useless. It is Mahavakya. Because it is talking about the ultimate reality. And that is why Acharya says, ever existing is Brahma. We are not aware of it, is a bandha. All the karmas that you are talking about is basically to retire the bandha. So the yajna, the upasana, the chitta shuddhi, blah, 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 is all for retiring the constricting aspect. Expression is always there. Try your level best to remove the clouds to the complete. Yes. But don't claim that I obtained the sun. The sun was always existing even when the clouds were there. You are Ajnani, yet you are Brahma. The Acharyas and the Rishis and the saintly people see it. Yasto sarvani bhutani atman eva anupashyat. Gurudeva by name spoke to everyone. That is called Vyavaharika Satta. But being in Paramarthik Satta permanently established, for him everybody was nothing else but he himself. The biggest problem is you can assume an entity by yourself as one, not as two. How can you be two? I am Brahma. But right now, I am a bodied person speaking to another embodied person. Look at the dilemma in Gurudeva or Swami Vivekananda or any realized soul's background. They are instantly and constantly aware that they are Brahma, and they also know I am Swami Vivekananda. As Swami Vivekananda, I will be delivering a lecture, But lecture is not true. I am not true. Lecturing is not true. I am Brahma. I am speaking to Mr. So-and-so in Vyavaharik Satta, but simultaneously I know Mr. So-and-so is also Atman and Brahman. How can two realities coexist at same time? Two realities cannot coexist at same time because only one can be the reality, other is illusion. Can reality and illusion stay together? They can. How? In reality, illusion should disappear. In reality, illusion definitely disappears, but status of illusion as illusion in reality can still happen. Example, in Mrugajalam, when not known is called by the person as water. But when known that it is not water, still the Mrugajal persists, but he knows that it is not water. That means Mrugajal is seen. It appears as reality, but simultaneously he is aware that it is not reality. As a result, the person who is seeing only Mrugajala, with that person, the realized person can interact saying that, yes, I also can see water the way you see the water. The only difference is one is believing in that water, another knows that there is no water. That means the reality of the Mrugajala water has been sublated by knowledgeable person. Similarly, apparent reality of this world is sublated by the Jivan Mukta. So when he is in the world, he behaves, agrees with the world, being constantly aware that it is not existing. Reality, illusion. A realized person can stay in illusion, knowing that it is illusion. That is the reason why Brahmi Bhut people, the realized souls, they are able to eat and drink. They don't say, oh my God, this is not roti, this is Brahma. They don't go and hit their head on the wall because they don't understand wall is Brahma. No. If you are only in the realized state, for example, you are in Samadhi and you are into the realized state, deeply absorbed. Now you will hit something. Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa Thakur, in his realized state when he was in Samadhi, he fell upon a burning wood and there was burn all along the arm. Came to know only when he became aware of the world. Why this happened? He was only in one world. Second world, he was not there. To be in the second world, they bring the senses with them again. Otherwise, sensuous world cannot be felt. It was so difficult for Ramakrishna Paramahamsa to come into the normal world that many a times he used to constantly get absorbed into the world that is not ours, that is in the realized state, Brahmibhuta Avastha, that he had to be forcibly brought down. Even for a person who is in Samadhi, a mantram is always said in his ear to bring him down. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa himself established a mechanism to come down from the higher state, and for that he used tobacco. That's why he used to say to his disciples that be thankful to the tobacco because she keeps me on the ground. Some sense has to be held upon to be in this world. When the realized person is in this world, he is in this world so he can do vyavaharika satta function. But the realization that this is not the real world always remains with him. An elderly person can participate in the game of children, in the happy birthday party, and dance like a child and talk like a child and enjoy with the child, knowing fully well that he is not a child. It doesn't stop him from enjoying the party. But at the heart of heart, he knows that he's not a child. He is a grown-up person working in some office, and this child is his son. For the sake of the birthday gathering, he is doing the show. That is why Chaitanya, if it has adhishthana, Chaitanya is basically the adhishthana. If that adhishthana applies to vritti upadhi, then jnana is produced. There is no jnana if there is only adhishthana. Very subtle difference we need to understand. Jnanagni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute. That jnanam is only possible or irrelevant only when karma is there. Is Brahma jnana yukta? It's a ridiculous question. Jnana is a relative concept. Ignorance qualifies knowledge. Darkness qualifies light. The place where darkness has never been there, light doesn't get qualified at all. So adhishthana, that is substratum, is Brahma. Only when Brahma gets deployed in the vritti, jnana arises. The ocean will not be known as ocean till the waves arise. Who is in the wave? The water of the ocean only is in the wave. The ocean, which had no form earlier, has taken a form. Similarly, consciousness has taken a form called vritti. And when it takes the form then has to apply to somebody. So consciousness, which is the plain, silent, pristine, clean ocean, creates flutter or waves in the form of vritti. The place where this flutter, waves or vritti is formed is called antakarana. So adhishthana plus vritti upadhi is a jnana, shuddha jnana. To whom this jnana has happened is yet to come. Adhishthana or Chaitanya plus vritti, application of consciousness in jnana started. If that vritti is happening in antakarana is always restricted to one body. If it is happening into the antakarana of somebody, then he becomes jnata. Now jnana has got a owner. Antakaran gives the ownership. Vritti catches part or the glimpse of adhishthana. When you are in Adhishthana Swarupa, your pure consciousness, Brahma, no activity, nothing, nothing is possible, no description, nothing, 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 nothing. Moment it gets restricted to vritti, because vritti is basically miniaturization, particleization. When Adhishtan comes into the vritti, it becomes jnana. So the first stage is jnana. But jnana of what? Of what is replied by antakarana of a particular body. So adhisthana vritti antakarana jnata. In a battery, you have two cells. The two cells connected to each other is consciousness or the power. If it is attached to the bulb, jnana. If it has a switch, antakarana, then the light will fall, jnata. And the light has to fall on some object. Object is jneya. So adhishthana vritti upadhi jnana. Adhishthana vritti upadhi antakarana jnata. Adhishthana vritti upadhi antakarana padartha or vishaya jneya. These four are the modifications or utilizations of adhishthana. So if you have to go to adhishthana or Brahma, what is to be removed? First, vishaya padartha jneya has to be removed. After that, antakarana has to be removed. After you remove antakarana, there will be only jnana left. But hold on, jnana also is to be removed. Jnanagni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute, because there is no jnata. That's fine. But not to stop here, because a jnana itself means there is a condition into it, and Brahma is unconditioned. Where a jnana retires, Gurudev describes this with his experience in a fabulous word. He says, meditate, meditate, so that the meditation goes away. In the first stage, entering into the flames of knowledge, ignorance turns into ashes, and that sacred ash is smeared on the forehead by the ego. See how beautifully Gurudev has described it. Ignorance is turned into ashes by the knowledge, by the flames of the knowledge. But the ash remains. That ash is smeared by the ego. When the ash itself is gone, then pure Shiva, Brahma, remains. Every single adjunct or upadhi has to be. Jnana itself is also a condition. Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa is Atma. That is for our understanding. Where is Sat? When Asat is not there, does Sat have any meaning? Chit, to be conscious of. What? Conscious of what? When there is nothing else in the world to be conscious of, where is the question of Chit? It's a very scary idea, but one can imagine. There is nobody in this universe, in this, whatever, only one. Our problem is, even the manifested world is not known to us. We still do not know what is unmanifested world. And we do not at all know what is beyond manifestation and unmanifestation. Sambhuta, asambhuta, transcending both. Time and space need to be transcended, we know that. But the concept called time and space also has to be transcended. Why a yogi or a Brahmadhyani is called absolute reverable figure? Even the devas are propitiating them. Why? Because they are at this sthanam which cannot be imagined, because Brahma cannot be imagined. That which can be spoken in words, that which can be put in dhyana dharana, that which can be experienced is Maya. And she is not. Maya. Ya ma sa Maya. That which is not. That which cannot be spoken in words, that which can be experienced, and that which can be held in dhyana dharana is Maya. And that which cannot be spoken in words, that which cannot be held in dhyana dharana, that which can never be experienced is Brahma. That which can be looked at, that which can be perceived, that which can be recollected is Maya. That which cannot be looked at, that which cannot be perceived, that which cannot be recalled is Brahma. Ajnana is janma siddha mithya. Sun is not existing. It's janma siddha mithya. Because of the clouds you are feeling so. Ajnana is janma siddha mithya. Prakriti is swabhavataha mithya. And Brahma is Satya. Creation is myth by nature. Nescience is myth by birth. So Prakriti or Maya exists by non-existence. Ajnana is non-existence by non-existence. And Brahma is existence by existence. Samartha Ramdas says, Asatachi ase, nasatachi nase. Very deep thought. Ajnana is not existing by not existence. Prakriti or Maya is existing by non-existence. And Brahma is by existing by existence. That is why that which is remembered by remembering and that which is forgotten by forgetting is Maya. That which is beyond remembrance and forgetting is Brahma. That being the nature of Brahma, that being the nature of karma, which presupposes modification or utilization of Adhishthana or Brahma Chaitanya through Antakaran Vritti, Jnata and Jneya, the modification can never give the apprehension of original. Till you have the Jnaya Padartha Jnata, that is Vritti Upadhi, Antakarana and Padartha, Adhishtan can never be known. Ganga has come from the origin all the way down on the plains. By looking at the water of Ganga in Banaras, you will not come to know the origin of Ganga. This is Ganga which flew down. Adhishthana Brahma has flown down through Antakarana, through Vritti Upadhi as a Jnata towards the Jnaya, and the world is formed. So in this place called Banaras, you will not get the origin called Gangotri. For Gangotri, you have to go back. That means you have to abandon Banaras. You have to abandon Jnata, Jnaya, Jnana. Abandoning Jnaya is Vairagya. Leave everything. Abandoning Jnana is Upasana. Abandoning Jnata is Samadhi. Once this is done, only Adhishtan will remain. And you will realize Adhishtan has not remained. It was anyway there. I couldn't see it. That is what this Samanvaya is according to Shankaracharya. Refutation of the Samanvaya. How Samanvaya is to be done? Without disregarding Purva Mimamsa, Acharya had shown the place of Purva Mimamsa, saying that, sir, it appears very serene and beautiful, but that is not the end of the journey. The journey is beyond this. Yes, it looks like a quite nice mountain and almost you are at the peak, but no, there is another peak beyond that. To reach that peak, this peak needs to be conquered. Agreed. The only difference is, till the time of the peak of the mountain through Karma Kanda, you feel you have achieved the peak. While in Brahma Jnana, you realize that you are already sitting at the peak. That is the difference between Purva Mimamsa. Last few, one or two arguments of Acharya are left in this fourth sutra, and then we will be in a position to enter into the second Adhikarana or the fifth sutra of Brahma Sutra. Hari Om. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Hari Om, Sanjay Rajendran here. The reason for Brahma to be so blissful, Anandamaya, is it because it doesn't have any touch with the physical world? Any connection with the physical world? By nature itself, it is Anandamaya, isn't it?
Is because our lack of understanding of Brahma. Brahma is not Anandamaya. Brahma is Anandamaya because we need to label it as one. Ananda is a state imagined by us, which is neither sorrowful nor happiness. Can you imagine a state which is neither happy nor sorrowful? We cannot imagine also. It is beyond our imagination. Either you are happy or you are sad. You are with sorrow. No, but I was in a state where there was no happiness, there was no sorrow. It's very difficult to imagine. The only time when perhaps we can think or imagine of it is when you are in deep sleep. In deep sleep, either of these two are not there. Because we are not able to describe the situation, which is beyond dvandva. The world is full of dvandva. You have dualities, light and darkness. We cannot think of anything other than these two in reference to the light. So we say that it is ever effulgent. It is son of sun. These are our descriptions. Nothing reaches there because Brahma, or the state that we originally are, is a state in which there is no vikara. And I am the only one. When you are the only one, what will please you? What will make you unhappy? All the aspects of guna, which is basically the three gunas giving us different types of experiences, are possible when you are trigunatmak. That being nirguna, again, nirguna is our way of describing it because we cannot think of anything beyond three gunas. It is that adbhuta avastha which we are already, but which we don't realize because of the bandha called ajnana. So that is why question only is not how Brahma is blissful or so, whatever you call it. The difficult question to understand is that which is so unaware of anything, so neutral, so, how is it that it also is the substratum of this world? How do you connect the ever happening world full of sorrow and pain with something which has nothing to do with this, and yet they are connected? It is like saying that, the darkness and the sun, they are dependent on each other. They cannot be, because sun is there, darkness cannot be there. If darkness is there, sun cannot be there. Still, Brahma is there, nothing can be there. No activity, nothing. Our mind finds it difficult to imagine. While the world is full of everything. So everything which is full of dvandva is connected to something which is dvandva rahita, dvandva atita. Dvandva atita connected to full of dvandva. How? That is far difficult a question to fathom. And that is what precisely going to be the matter of discussion as we go down the line. Right now, only the refutation of Veda against Purvamimamsa. After this, Sankhya are going to come. After this, Nyaya is going to come. After this, Buddhism is going to come. Acharya one by one is going to silence everyone, and then going to come to that particular aspect which will explain how something which is so neutral is connected to something which is so active. Something which is completely beyond vikara is connected to something which is full of vikara. Is at all it is connected, or it appears as a connection? If it appears as a connection, what is the nature of that connection? That is going to come down the line. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Namaskar, Dr. Sir. In the last class, we had seen that Jnaneshwar Mauli made us, said that everything is Brahma. So Ajnan also becomes Brahma. Is the same as Adhyastha is Adhishtan Swarup?
Adhyastha is like Somebody is riding on the horse. Moment you say there is a rider, horse automatically comes. When you say something is adhyastha, adhishtan has to be there. Jnaneshwar Mauli is representing a completely different, in which he says that if Ajnana is existing and everything in this world is existing because of Brahma, then how can that Ajnana exist in ever knowledgeable Brahma? It is like saying that it's sun. How it is possible? Darkness cannot reside in sun. So he says there is nothing in this world called Ajnana. Jnaneshwar Mauli in Amruta Anubhava has taken a completely different stand. In fact, the stand goes beyond Shankaracharya. Amruta Anubhav is the most difficult grantha to digest because radical interpretations are given by Jnaneshwar Mauli, who says, how can Jnana and Ajnana be there in Brahma when Brahma has nothing of any kind? Jnana comes only when there is a person having Jnata status and Jneya status. Otherwise, Jnana, what existence, what relevance Jnana has? Ajnana is there, so Jnana has relevance. Jnata is there, so Jnana has relevance. In Brahma, there is no relevance of any kind. So there is nothing called avidya, nothing called vidya, nothing called jnanam. To realize that there is nothing called jnanam, you need to go through this process of called jnana prapti. You are calling that process as jnana prapti, but you are not actually getting the jnanam because jnanamayata is not an attribute in that sense of Brahma. How can Brahma be jnanamaya? That means it is not ajnanamaya. Not and yes. Asti na asti. Both doesn't apply to Brahma. That is why ajnana has no locus standi at all. Avidya, how can you talk about avidya or ajnana? Where does it reside? Everything in this world is based on Brahma. Brahma can never have ajnana as its ashrita. So adhyastha, it appears, it is not. So for the sake of our understanding in the beginning, you will have to understand like that there is an ajnana. We have to destroy the ajnana. Only when you go to the other side of the river, you realize that this side, the bridge was not at all required. Till the time you have not crossed the ocean, crossed the river, all these things are required for our understanding. Such understanding is fictitious understanding. It may appear very surprising, but it is fictitious understanding. It is called Samvadi Brahma. Veda is Brahma. Vaidika Jnana is a Brahma. Next class, we are going to end the 4th sutra with the last two statements of Shankaracharya, who says the Laukika Jnana and the Vaidika Jnana is nothing else but Brahma. We will see in details in the next class. Hari Om.
Then you are Dr. Sam.
Hari Om. Any more questions?
Yeah, just one last one, Sanjay ji. Yes, time. There is, when we studied, let's say, the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, right? So there also, after, the process of Samadhi and Kaivalya was explained at various levels of meditation. Now, I understand there are different darshanas, but is there one agreed methodology to make the final ascent, which is similar across all darshanas, or?
In fact, all the darshanas are the facets of the same diamond. There is nothing opposite in any of the darshanas. When Patanjali Maharaj says about Upasana, Dhyana, Dharana, Samadhi, he has given to the intricate and perfect details of how to do the practical aspect of the sadhana. The interpretation where it varies is at the last stage. Is there something called Prakriti and Purusha? In Yoga Sadhana or Sankhya Tattvajnan, they say Prakriti is separate than Purusha. There is no connect between the two. Advaita Vedanta says Maya and Brahma cannot be separate. Maya is dependent on Brahma. So there is a connect. Sankhya say there is no connect. And if there is no connect, then how do they work? Precisely, these are the differences in the ultimate aspect of philosophy. Experientially, they all reach at the same place. Somebody who came from the south side of Mount Everest, Himalaya, somebody who came from the eastern side will definitely have different experience to state. However, when they meet at the tip of the Mount Everest, the experience is same. Ekam satya vipra bahuda vadanti. Vipra is the knowledgeable person. Truth is one, knowledgeable people talk in different ways. So these are knowledgeable people's differences. A beautiful statement I will tell you of a Sufi and we will realize it. कुछ बाधा खारों के बीच कुछ मसाइल उलझ गए हैं. A Sufi says, amongst the few drinkers, there is a dispute happening. Those who have drank the nectar of knowledge. कुछ बाधाकारों के बीच मसाइल उलझ गए हैं, साकी आ जाएगी तो सुलझ जाएंगे. What it means? Only at the Brahma Tattva level, the differences will be sorted out. So this is all nothing else but a same philosophy. Only thing is while refuting. Mind well, Buddhism is refuted by Shankaracharya, but he had immense respect. In fact, Gaudapada has given so much respect to Buddha you cannot imagine. So that respect is always there. These are called Tattva Jnana difference. That is why while fighting, they will fight as if, you're wrong, I'm right. But that is not the scenario here. This is Bhashyam and Vada, Samvada. This is not Jalpa. That's why this is Vada, Guru Shishya Samvada. Samvada is harmonious reconciliation of different aspects of thoughts. That's all. Hari Om.